This midfield is maybe a mid-table midfield. Ugarte, I think, is a good player, but needs the right kind of partner. Casemiro is past it. Bruno Fernandes is not defensive enough.
The drama of Manchester United continues tomorrow as they host Chelsea. A difficult match once again for the Red Devils and Ruben Amorim, who was speaking just this morning, about the chairman of the club, Jim Ratcliffe, paying a visit before this big matchup tomorrow.
Well, let's believe that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was here yesterday. I mean, obviously, there's a lot going on at the club, but everybody kind of focuses on you. Could you just tell us what you spoke about with him?
New contract. He was offering me a new contract. And no, it's normal things just to show the support, explaining that it's a long project. He said many times this is my first season. For me, it's not. But normal things. Spoke with him, with Omar, with Jason, just trying to see all the data around the team. So a normal meeting, and we had several. But in this moment, it's normal. People pay attention to that.
I mean, I understand you will appreciate the support, I'm sure. But you also know you do have to win matches, don't you?
Ah, that is, guys, this is football, and this is the club with more pressure maybe in the world. But we want to win. And again, I think we are. You can say whatever. And I think last year I was a lot of very critical of the way we play. I think we are playing well until the boxes, defending and attacking. We need to be more aggressive in the boxes. We need to be more clinical. The rest, I think we are improving in comparing to last year. I think we are in the better place. But again, we need to win. We lost against Arsenal and we lost against City. And here losing, especially in the beginning after last season, is a problem.
I'll say this, it's nice to see Amorim being able to joke, right, in this moment where, joking about getting a new contract from Sir Jim Ratcliffe that was, in the building this past week here, getting ready for this match. It really has been up and down for Ruben Amorim since he arrived at Manchester United. A lot more down, a lot more drama. And this match not getting any easier after the loss in the Manchester derby to City. Now have to host a Chelsea side that is looking for points as well after drawing at the weekend against Brentford.
But I will say this is the moment where we talked about in the preseason, they won't have European football to play. They can dedicate weeks worth of training at a time to get ready for games, whereas you compare it to Chelsea and they're away at Bayern Munich. But that might be the only thing in Manchester United's favor. And I think we knew at the beginning of the season the fixture list looked incredibly difficult. You open with Arsenal, you play Fulham away, which turned out to be a difficult game. Burnley at home has been your only reprieve, and then Manchester derby and Chelsea. It's been a difficult start to the campaign. You look at the results. The Grimsby Town result puts you under massive pressure. If you just win that game and you do it comfortably, maybe this doesn't look terrible. Maybe still a 3-0 defeat in the Manchester derby looks horrendous, but there's just something about things that you would expect this team with this level of resource, with the players that they have, to have been able to click a little bit more than what they've seen. There still look massive personnel holes in the team that they're trying to solve, and I think they're just off the pace enough that you really start to worry about them.
Yeah, and also just the whole conversation around the tactics for Manchester United, where he has been asked several times, does he plan to change this formation that he is really stuck into playing and maybe doesn't have the right personnel, and he continues to say, this is the way I play football. It is interesting that he doesn't at some point decide, maybe we need to change things up a little bit to find a way to get results. Let's take a look at the projected starting 11 here for Manchester United that you were projecting that this is how they're going to play. I already see one change here, which is getting a little bit more from Kobbie Mainoo that maybe hasn't been featuring enough this season.
I thought he did well when he came off the bench in the Manchester derby as well. And I just think in general, here's the problem that I think that they have to solve. And we'll get to that point about the tactics in a second, is this two-man midfield. Because in the last game, it was Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes. And I just don't think it works. I just don't think it works. We went into last season with Mason Mount thinking, oh, he'll play as a number 8 in Erik ten Hag's midfield. And ultimately, the issue that they have to solve, and you can maybe solve it with the system, I think it's with personnel. You have too many attackers. And so right now I've gone for Mbumo, Šeško, and Fernandes. You still have Mason Mount coming back from injury. You still have Mateus Cunha coming back from injury. I talked about all summer long, I can't believe that they're prioritizing the attack to this degree, where they have this number of attackers in this side, considering all the issues that they have otherwise. And so for me, I think in some ways about the system, I don't know if it solves for your personnel. If they tomorrow decided, let's play 4-2-3-1, I don't know if they, A, have the personnel for it anymore because they built towards this system, and B, it solves the ultimate problem, which is this midfield is maybe a mid-table midfield. Ugarte, I think, is a good player, but needs the right kind of partner. Casemiro is past it. Bruno Fernandes is not defensive enough. We saw it with the first goal they conceded to Manchester City, where he's turning around going, how come no one's tracking that run when, mate, that's your job. But he just is so used to not doing that job that I think in some ways it's about the system. For me, in the overall point, when you say, why doesn't he change? He's gotten so much leeway as the Manchester United boss, because if you say you're a process-oriented coach, bear with me, I know there's going to be some downturns, but we're going to be fine in the long run. That's your way of saying we're building something, we're building towards something. Where if he says now I'm going to change, you're basically acknowledging that it went wrong. This process you've been on of losing games and losing games and losing games has been for nothing, and you're just like any other coach. In some ways, he has to stick to his guns, or else what does he have left to defend himself to the club and to the fans? And so I understand, almost from a self-preservation standpoint, why you wouldn't change, because by acknowledging that you were wrong, by acknowledging that things have gone poorly, you're basically offering up, okay, well then just go get someone else to come in and change the system, because we have been building toward this for a year.
You've been building it for a year, but how much longer will the managing staff of this club allow these results to continue? Like that's my point, right? Because at some point, if this isn't working, if he wants to keep his job, might have to switch something up and do something a little bit different, no?
Or just hope that it gets better, or hope that weeks on the training ground, and at some point, and I don't know, you look at these games, all of a sudden Sunderland at home looks a tough game. Yeah. That's a newly promoted team. Brentford away is nowhere near an easy game. They're going to make life difficult for you. I don't know, I look at the board. I don't even know necessarily where the easy wins come. There are no easy wins, I would say, for Man United at this point. They have to grind it out. They have to figure out a way for this style of play to work week after week. To answer your question, how long do you give? I guess it really is their tolerance, and I would also say the fan base's tolerance for how long do we go? If we're in the relegation zone come December, is that when we decide to make a change? It really is. At what point do you admit you were wrong? Or do you say, I believe in this enough that something is going to happen? When basically all Amorim has to go off of his time at Sporting, which to be fair, was very good. But the building at some point needs to produce a building. It's not just construction in the underneath layers. We need to see some walls. We need to see something go up. And I think it really just comes down to at what point does everyone at Manchester United look around the table and go, guys, we might have messed this one up.
Yeah, it's difficult for some people to capitulate. And at some point, it seems like it's going to have to happen. We never capitulate. You always keep it going and get stuck in. It is going to be a tough one for sure for Manchester United as they take on Chelsea tomorrow in that middle kickoff.